So let's do a couple original songs, y'all. Sitting on a park bench one day, oh, you came down and sat next to me. You had my heart fluttering, baby, like a pair of butterfly's wings. I seemed to talk for hours about everything we knew. I knew in my heart, baby, none would ever compare to you. And there's only one woman for me. You show me things I never seen. Oh, baby, you drive me crazy. And there's only one woman for me. It's been 2 years, baby. Oh, you're standing there. See the love in your eyes, wind blowing through your hair. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, the love we share. I knew in my heart, baby, none would ever compare. And there's only one woman for me. You show me things I never seen. Oh, baby, you drive me crazy. And there's only one woman for me. We talk for hours, made love on the beach. You are my dream, my only fantasy. Then one summer day, my darling, you went away. Flew up to heaven, you see, got your own pair of wings. Though it broke my heart, I remember everything you taught. There'll never be another woman that could mend this heart. And there's only one woman for me. You show me things I never seen. Oh, baby, you drive me crazy. And there's only one woman for me. You show me things I never seen. Oh, baby, you drive me crazy. And there's only one woman for me. 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 Oh, thank you so much, sir.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
It's all fixed. How you like that?
Wow, what you use, Gorilla Glue?
Yep.
Wow, it doesn't wiggle. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the end of the week.
Wow, what a week.
This is strange because it's the beginning of the month and the end of the week. So it's the beginning and the end.
It's beginning and then we're already booking people into the middle to the end of October, and I can't believe what's going on. Like, I've just scheduled someone for October 20th, and I'm thinking that's just craziness.
What's going on?
People scheduled, people coming on, booking guests and things.
Been doing this 7 years. Why is that?
Because it's end of October, means we're into Halloween, means we're into that holiday season.
Yeah, Halloween. I can see all the craziness that you're getting all around us. You've done 7 Halloweens that I've known you.
Yeah?
And this one is different. Why?
I don't mean Halloween per se, I just mean the holiday season. Usually kicks off around Halloween, then everyone starts talking about Thanksgiving. Next thing you know, you're into Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and New Year, and then you're all the way over to Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So happy October 7th to you, because now I'm into Valentine's Day in February.
Wow. Anyway, so how you doing? I haven't seen you all morning.
I've not seen you all morning. You have been locked up in Studio B on your computer since the morning.
A lot of edits.
You know, last night we had this power surge that kind of sizzled through part of the studio and went, eh. They thankfully, I don't know who it was that found the noise with our battery backup. And little by little, we were finding things that had fizzled and noisy, and so we spent some of the morning trying to regroup and unfizzle the situation.
And then they picked up the fizzled mic. We were gonna do the morning show, and the mic doesn't work. So we were down from 4 to 3, but she brought in the fizzle. So that wasn't gonna work anyway. For 45 minutes, we couldn't figure out why it wasn't working.
The fizzle. And then Eileen comes to sit down, and we had checked the mics all morning, over and over and over. And they go, her mic's not working. And I go in, I look at them, and I'm getting no information. So we go to change the mic, and I said, Eileen, unclip it. And she had never hooked herself up. So that is why.
It will not work that way.
It would not work that way. So I was glad that was the reason, and we didn't have to go to another mic.
It's not too bad.
So happy Friday, everyone. Today is National LED Light Day, apparently, and you can see that by all of the lights in our studio. It is actually also World Smile Day.
Why do you keep turning lights on?
So I can see.
The lobby.
Let me tell you why. We have a lot of valuable artwork in the lobby, and there were mannequins here, and I wanted to make sure the mannequins and the artwork did not have an accidental collide. So I wanted to make sure everybody could see to find one door.
So you lit the light for the mannequins?
I lit the light to save her artwork. It's a matter of perspective.
The mannequins walked in here and walked out.
Yes, pretty much they did.
And the light made a difference.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure the tree that we
There's
have
a
there
tree.
did not have an accidental collide with the mannequin.
Okay, so after the mannequins walked out of here,
I never turned the lights
you never
out.
turned them on?
No, I did not.
And you left the bathroom and the kitchen and the foyer, all of that is on, right? And we had just had this conversation. Were the mannequins back there
The
too?
mannequins were not back there.
LED light doesn't work unless you turn off the lights.
I know. But it's been a nice week, I have to tell you. It's good to be back on a Friday.
Good to be back.
Good to be back on a Friday. We've got some announcements, so I think our producers are going to start bringing some stuff over so we can go through housekeeping. Hurricane Ian. They are doing a huge collection donation drive, and Angel, one of our hosts of Touched by Angel Live, there are 6 donation sites that she is working with right here in the South Florida area, and one of the big ice companies has donated their trucking services as well as their ice to head over to the west coast of Florida, where they will be dropped off in different locations there, gyms in different central locations, so from here to there, and the needs are changing daily. So it went from food, clothing, ice, non-perishables, to now clothing and food is coming over, but now they need storage bins and they need some other things. So we're going to keep you updated on all of that. We will post this flyer of the 6 locations that are available to drop off, anywhere from Pompano Beach all the way up to Plant-Based Mafia up in West Palm Beach. They're also a
Plant-Based
donation
Mafia,
site.
I heard is doing a lot. They're on the move.
So if anyone has an open business or storage area, or you are a landlord and you have some open space that you can help collect some donations, that they'll be more than happy to pick up and drive over to the west coast of Florida, because what's happening there, they say it is the largest loss of life in over 90 years in the state of Florida. Can you believe that?
Yes, can I believe it? I can believe it.
That's just, you would think in what we have as far as modern technology and all of the great things we do, to still lose that amount of life in this day and age as the United States of America and all the things that we have is just
Dawn,
unbelievable.
I don't buy into that. You had a choice to leave. People wanted to ride it out. They thought that the hurricane was going to be something that they can handle. And, you know, when the ceiling and the water meet and you're caught in between, you're going to drown. So you got to move. You got to go, and you got to go. And we've been saying it all week. And, you know, we still in hurricane season. It ain't done till the end of November.
That is true.
You think people will learn now? Now they're going to evacuate to California because they got hit, and they got hit hard. Over 100 loss of life, correct? It's horrible. And I got to tell you, when I went through the hurricane in Puerto Rico, Maria, they didn't have this. They didn't have people pouring in and bringing stuff. That was an island in the middle of nowhere. We didn't have ships. There weren't harbors. There weren't planes. There weren't airports. The airport disappeared. So maybe that's why I'm so sensitive when they tell you, you got to go, you got to go. You know, my father tied himself up to the house, and they found him a day later. Wasn't a pretty sight. So I beg of you, if you hear it coming, man, I don't care now if it's at 2. You got to go. You got to go. And what's happening over there, it's just, it's horrible. I don't know how else to say it. You seen the pictures?
I've seen the pictures, and Frank's here, Frank Ruffolo, and talking about it. Only 10% of Sanibel Island is left.
The rest of it is...
90%?
How much? 90?
90% of Sanibel Island is done.
It's crazy. And
So-
to see the people that did get out, you know, there are people that did leave and now they're coming back, and they're coming back to nothing. It's just rubble. That really breaks my heart, but they're still alive. And a lot of them are saying, you know, I came here to retire. I'm retiring with nothing. It's horrible.
So sad. I know, but the donation sites are there. And for Angel, it started, some of her people from Zumba from the west coast of Florida, because she does virtual Zumba, called and said, can you help? We need clothes, we need food, whatever they needed. And one call led to another call, and all the things, all the seniors that she's working with don't have. So she has now started a drive. You know, one person can make a difference for the positive, and sure enough, Angel has just been spectacular in everything she is collecting.
You know, I spoke to Vic at the radio station. What I would like to do is, because he has some connections with some singers, and I'd like to maybe do like a Farm Aid. Remember back in the day, they did Farm Aid, they did these concerts.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that? They brought up money, and all the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds went to wherever it had to go. Maybe we could do something like that and have singers come in. You're going to need a big venue like a Miser, 12,000 people, and you charge, and you take in donations and all of that. You line up the trucks and the bankers there, and you give somebody trustworthy to take that money to help. You know, I mean, there's so many things and assets that you have at your disposal here. Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Because those people are never going to be the same. Linda's telling me that they're bringing all of the people over from the senior homes. They're packed. The hospitals, Chuck must know this too. You can't move. There are so many people coming over. They're bringing them up in wheelchairs and everything else. I mean, it's a crisis.
Trying to find housing. All the people in Delray that lost their home in the tornadoes, they got to find housing. So if you have any extra housing, or if you have your snowbird and you have a second location down here in Florida that you would like to give some temporary shelter to, just reach out to the authorities, reach out to us. Let's see who we can connect you to. But all about helping and paying it forward. But on a positive note,
yes,
today's also World Smile Day.
What are you going to say?
So,
It's World Series Day. Today is playoff day.
World Smile Day. So, Katie, let's see what we got.
Oh, you got a little smile.
Smile. October 7th is World Smile Day here at the Brooklyn Cafe. Join us all day and let us give you a reason to smile on World Smile Day, October 7th at the Brooklyn Cafe.
You remember?
How do you like that? That was odd. Everyone, you look around, everyone's got a smile.
Now you got to smile. Do you remember the time that Mr. Hugs came into the studio?
Who was Mr. Hugs?
You don't remember?
No.
We were at the Heart of Del Rey.
Yeah.
And there's a guy that came in. I saw this shirt this morning. He gave me a shirt. and he wanted to set the world's record for holding hands or hugs or something.
Eddie Smiles. Eddie Rodriguez.
Yes, Eddie Smiles.
Yes?
We should have brought him in for
We
this
should have brought him in.
He actually went to the Miami Dolphins stadium, football stadium, and there were people there from London or whatever, and there was 60,000 or 40,000, whatever it was, and everybody held hands for a certain amount of time, and he broke the record. You remember that?
He actually walked from here to New York
Yeah.
on $200. He left here with $200 to raise money and awareness for cancer and to really talk about how great this country is. And every place along the way he stopped, someone gave him a place to stay. Someone gave him food to the next place that he went. And he went all the way there, and by the time he came back, he still had his original $200.
He made money. And he gained 12 pounds.
And it was all about smiles and how he overcame cancer, and he walked all the way. Pretty amazing, right?
It's amazing that he even accomplished that. We should bring him back, see what he's doing.
Absolutely.
But that's what that commercial reminds me
There you
of.
go. It kind of makes you smile. Love that.
What's
They
that
love
say?
the mug. That must be Adrian. There you go. I gave Freddie. Do you have Echo or you have eye patch? You've got Nina. You've got my eye patch, I think.
Well, nobody would have known until you opened your
Eye
mouth.
patch,
going,
Echo, and Nina. He loves the mug.
Very nice. Thank you. Very nice mug.
So he sent us the mugs to go with all of. We actually donated all those coloring books to kids, for kids in need.
We send it up to schools, right?
We
That
100%
box
did.
and
Yep. So we should take a look and then talk to him again.
Yes.
And we got a great show lined up for you today. It is Friday. Give us a call. It is fall 888-994-4995, Studio A. It's a beautiful day outside. We've got author Frank A. Raffola with us. We've got Cece Clevenger. We've got Lynn Everard. We've got Sally Bernard. So a great show lined up for you today.
We opened up the show with last night's dynamic night train where Cece was singing and Josh was playing the guitar. It's funny because I was watching it last night and I look at Josh's face. Boy, that kid was determined.
Let's see if we get a clip of that. Let's take a commercial break. When we come back,
You want a picture of
I
it?
want to see if we can. We have the clip because you got to see Josh was so intently playing. So a quick commercial break, more to come, and we'll be right back.
Planning for the future should not be painful and needs to be discussed. From health, family, finances, allow qualified professionals to aid in your planning. Luhu Advisors have been serving South Florida for over 30 years. A licensed real estate broker, insurance agent, assisted living administrator, and certified senior advisor, Paul Solomon is the most qualified and well-rounded advisor for any task. Specializing in real estate, long-term care, life insurance and annuities, Social Security, government benefits, and senior housing. Luhu Advisors. Let us help you. Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, We are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Welcome to Movies of Del Rey, a family-run movie theater that has been serving the Del Rey and Boca community for over 30 years. Open Wednesday through Sunday, Movies of Del Rey offers great admission prices, low concession prices, and quality customer service. Movies of Del Rey provides the quality of the big box theaters without the price tag. Movies of Del Rey provides new Hollywood content as well as new indie and independent movies. It truly is a hidden gem. Whether you're hosting a private event, party, or fundraiser, or are looking for your next date night activity, Movies of Del Rey is the perfect choice. Come on down to Movies of Del Rey, located at 7421 West Atlantic Ave in Delray Beach, or visit us online at moviesofdelrey.com.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties. Open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
One. And we're back.
And we're back. Josh is on injured reserve over there, so he's sitting next to
Josh
Christine.
is driving because the Phillies are going to play at 2 o'clock. Oh, I got to go home. I'm not feeling well. Why? Because I could put the Phillies on here.
Katie, you got
No,
a
I'm gonna
picture of
watch
his
it.
face? You have a picture of Josh's face from last night? We're going to see if we can find
She
it.
didn't get
So intent. But I'm glad we've got Frank joining us. Cece's here. Christine is here. Josh is resting on injured reserve. Frank, I was thinking of you the other day because you wrote a book, or maybe it's a book you're working on, where another country seemed to take over the United States bit by bit. By bit.
By bit?
No, not another country.
Oh, it was a
Another
group.
movement is taking over the United States bit by bit.
A movement.
They're
So
on 3 and 4.
then I hear that Facebook has eliminated hundreds of thousands of accounts because little by little different accounts were popping up on Facebook that were changing the political scope of the United States. And all I could do was think of Frank because one account at a time popped up and they were changing the political scope. And if Freddie say he's an independent, next thing you know, he's got pages that he's posting for one party or another. Until they actually came and found all of these, they see that it was going to actually change the scope of the election. And I thought of you in your book, and as a movement,
As a movement.
or as another people, this is what was happening right here last month.
I just finished the book a couple days ago.
There you go, perfect timing.
It's the last installment of my sci-fi thriller series. I resolved the cliffhanger I left the last book in. And if I can tell you a little bit about the book, and then I'd like to read a section of the book too, but I can find it on my phone.
Yes.
What happens is the sci-fi series starts with the days leading up to Judgment Day, and it ends 1,316 years later. after Judgment Day. During the course of that series, we set events into motion. We end up terraforming Mars. And in the third installment of the book, there's now a city on Mars. And through archaeological discoveries, we found out that there was a lost civilization on Mars 10,000 years ago, that a war erupted, and during that war, a pathogen was released and a monster was set loose, and that killed the population of Mars. And when we terraformed Mars accidentally by setting off a thermonuclear device on the surface, we released the same pathogen that now is afflicting the current civilization on Mars in 1,300 years from now in my other book. And it's resolved. I'm going to say, you have to read the book how that was resolved, but one of the monsters ends up on Earth. The monsters are people that have been affected by this pathogen and transform. And the monster is sort of like a Bigfoot type of, resembles a Bigfoot. And this lady transforms on Earth and runs off into the net, because she's in Canada, she runs off into the Canadian Rockies, and the Bigfoot population takes her in as one of theirs, and she ends up living with them. She's the only last surviving, you want to call, monster of this transformed human. So my books are basically describe the lack of faith mankind has in God, and how mankind's pride and avarice always gets them in trouble. So Satan decides in my last book, Satan decides he's going to do something new, and he impregnates, by imitating imitating somebody that he isn't, he impregnates this monster, and she ends up giving birth to his son, and she dies in the next book. But the son, that because this birth is the son of one of the fallen angels, he becomes what used to be called the Nephilim. He's a giant. He ends up being about 20 feet in height. He has three eyes. He has the eye of the pineal gland, which allows him to communicate telepathically and control your mind. And he wants to create a new movement of mankind. He wants to put man he wants to put man with an equal pedestal as God. And man should be ruling the world, not God ruling the world. Because he's setting forth this new religion where man is just as good as God. We do the same thing God does. We create life. We create planets. God is no better than we are. We are just as good as he is. And that's the movement he has started. So to read the book, you have to find out what happens and how he's taken care of. But I'd like to read you a passage from the book, because he goes around the world making speeches before heads of government. And what I'm going to read to you is the speech he makes to the Parliament in England.
Wow.
Let me find it on my phone.
Christine, how was that edit?
I'm not on this book yet. I'm on some of the other one.
Oh, okay. Oh, so he finished it, but it's not edited and ready to go out yet.
No.
Okay.
I've got 5 others that are finished and not ready to go out yet, too. So
Oh my gosh.
she's busy.
How do you do that?
So this fallen son of Satan, his name is Samael, and he's going to speak before I'm having trouble with this phone. Now it won't even start. There it goes. Great.
It's amazing, the concept, and I think that's the next book. Josh finished the last one.
Josh finished the last one called Xantha Terra, because Xantha Terra is a section of Mars. There's a terrain on Mars, and the name of that terrain is called Xantha Terra.
It was interesting because Sally in her show talked about being from another planet and how you come here, and that she truly believes there was life on other planets and other galaxies. And maybe part of Frank's story is it was destroyed at some point, and what we're going back now to look at was already there. It's not that we are creating life there. Perhaps life was already there, extinguished, and now we are just catching up, as you say.
Well, it's funny because they are sending, they're sending that space
If
shuttle
it gets there.
to the moon to practice to go to Mars. But when they go to Mars, they're going to stay there. They're going to build a, duplex apartment in the sky and a pool.
Okay, so this is what this is what Samuel of Sarah says as he speaks before the Parliament in England. People of England, I am what I am, the representative of the future of the human race. I am not a false prophet. I am not the evil you need to be wary of. I am the son of Sarah, a transhuman that was born from a kind Canadian woman that was affected by what we did to the Mars environment. For if mankind did not intervene in the manner it did, there would not have been no transformation, no Titans, no Lilith, no Samael. Yet here I am for you today. In all of your inequities, we did terraform Mars and rejuvenated an old world again. We created a living planet from a dead one. We fixed what we failed. We are the new force in the galaxy, in the whole cosmos. We must embrace our destiny. We must embrace our power. We must sit at the right hand of who created us. We have grown to be much more than just man and woman made in his image. We have surpassed expectations, and yet we still live in the past. We still live in the shadow of the Creator. Have we not created life forms? Have we not created landscapes? There were many beliefs in our past. The Hindus, Buddhism, Islam, Roman, Greek, and Egyptian mythologies and gods, the Aztec, the Mayans, the Anunnaki, the Hebrews, and the Christians, all have faded away sans one. Now is the time for the humans. It is the natural order of the universe to choose belief structures and to advance to new learning and deeper understanding of who we are and where we will go. I am Samuel, son of Sarah. My father and I will lead mankind into a new era of prosperity, a new era of enlightenment, a new era of understanding, a new era of peace in the coming weeks. In the coming weeks, there will be an event to shape the future of mankind. Miss Jennifer Stone and Lieutenant Colonel Nevins will announce the time and place where all will be revealed, and all will be understood. For I am the one to show you that mankind is the kingdom and the power and the glory. For we create our own destiny, and we will rule the cosmos until the day I remain in your service.
And this is coming from Satan's son?
Satan's son.
Sounds like Putin on a bad day.
Wow. Well, maybe he has the finer quality of his mother, and he's going to bring peace to the world.
He ain't bringing no peace to the world. I mean, think about from what I'm getting from this thing, and I think Hitler said the same thing. I think Putin's saying the same thing. I think that people of an evil threat will always promise to deliver. They don't care how many people they destroy to do it.
Putin just wants to expand the old Russian territory again. That's all he wants. He's trying to bring the Russian glory back again. He's going to keep expanding until somebody tells him to stop.
Until somebody makes him
Makes him
stop.
stop.
Makes him stop.
There's no telling him anymore anything because now he's in a corner. And the only way to have him get out of that corner is to give him what he wants or to stop and sort of negotiate something. But now the Ukraine doesn't want to do that because they've lost so much. I mean, they've lost their country. Let's go to war and we'll pick up the rubble for the next 300 years. Is what so there's no resolution here. You heard Biden talk about Armageddon yesterday. It's funny that you write about it. He wants to create Armageddon, and everybody is this is like the Cuban Missile Crisis, when everybody was scared to death about these nukes that were going in Cuba, and you're playing with people's lives here, guys. I mean, this is no joke. These wars that you're killing and devastating for what? There is no end game here. And for you to go in exactly like Satan's saying, I'm the glory, I'm a this, I'm a that. We've always been involved in wars, yes?
Yes.
It's always good against evil. It depends on whose side are you on to call the other person the evil. Hitler thought that he was justified in glorifying Germany, and he almost won. He took over 3/4 of Europe, didn't he?
Sure did.
And here we go again. And in this stage of the world, the way things are now, it's just unbelievable to look at this guy invading this nature with absolutely no justification whatsoever.
Well, you see in Frank's book, people still don't learn. I think we talked
Yep.
about that
They
when
don't
when
learn.
you came in. No matter how much some pray, people don't have faith and they don't learn.
It's, you know what it is? It's pride. Pride is the biggest reason why people fail.
Their ego.
Their pride. Pride does something. Pride, it's their pride. Their pride, oh, it starts with pride and it goes from there. No matter what the problem is, no matter what did they do wrong, it's always pride.
Because they're always right.
to
People
start.
don't, is it because people don't take accountability for wrongdoings?
Oh.
Even Putin thinks he's right.
Accountability. Yeah, of course he
Trump
thinks
thinks he's right.
Of course he thinks he's right. All of these people, Hitler thought he was right.
Pride.
I mean, look at the destruction of what right in somebody's mind can be. The more powerful you are, the more destructive you can be. That's why they should get rid of all nukes and get rid of this. You want to, it's like West Side Story. You know, when you're a jet, you know, skin to skin. You want to fight? And fight skin to skin. Bring them into an arena and put them into fight. Why is it that some grandma living over here or a kid going to school over there, what do they got to be infected with your stupidity? What, do you think you're going to dominate people's desire and mentality if you take them over? Look at the Roman Empire. How many hundreds of years did they do it? And they were finally defeated. It takes time. There's no end game here. I don't understand beating people to death to do it my way. Be this, be that. Why? It makes no sense to me.
I don't know, maybe Frank's muse has some ideas because what we're doing right now does not seem to be working.
It's not working.
I'd rather go to Mars. Start all
not
over
right.
again, to be honest with you. Just go.
It's something's going to happen. We're going to keep messing up to the point where we're going to be held accountable.
Well, it's funny because the Bible speaks about that
It's a
region.
judgment day.
That region of the earth is going to be the catastrophic change.
That's where it's coming from.
And everybody thought that it was, different. Everybody pointed out to different people. And this fake prophet, this false prophet, that comes and walks among us, which means it's a human being, which has no explanation, and on and on and on. What I don't understand is if it was written, why people don't listen to what is written
They
and
don't
change.
listen.
Why?
God did it once before when he sent the flood. Don't think he won't do it again. He may not do it with the flood, but don't think he won't do it again.
Well, I'm going to tell you, he came close with...
I was going to say, we came close with this hurricane, right?
No,
Came close with the
COVID.
hurricane.
COVID.
Forget about the COVID.
And we talked about when COVID hit and everyone thought, all right, there's a reason it came. It was Easter, it was Passover, it was the plagues, it was Old Testament, right?
There was no answer.
You look at what it is and you would think that people would look and say, I get it. This is the next plague, whatever you want to call it.
There was no answer.
But yet we did it again.
And the worst thing in the world about the COVID was that now we think we can defeat it. Now we think that we're smarter than the average bear. And if it comes, because I just read today that they're looking at a new surge in winter, but it comes in different forms, right? Now they think that with a shot or 2 shots or 3 shots or 4 shots, till you grow another ear, they think that they're mighty and confident until it gets out of control.
People are missing the whole point. They're missing the point of faith. And I think it's that the underlying theme of your books, Frank, is we've lost faith.
We lost faith.
You
And we
ever-
constantly lose faith.
Well, every day. You ever talk to it's an interesting conversation. You ever had a conversation with somebody who just tells you, no, I'm an atheist, or worse, whatever that means. And you're sitting there, and you want to say something, but free will is free will. God never said that you have to believe
Nope.
in him, and you don't want to, that's on you. And the consequences come to you. And I had this conversation, and the person is blaming God for all the disease and the storms and everything else, taking the accountability from us and placing it on something else of belief, of faith. And I said, you know, the only accountability that I see when I'm talking to you is that you're here, the gift of life, for you to choose whatever you want. Let's take it back to the beginning, because there was a point when you came out of your mother one way or the other, and they smacked you in the butt, and you screamed and you breathed. That to me is the gift. What you do with it now is your choice. So are we just suffering from bad choices, bad judgment, bad teachings? We talked about teachings. We learn bad because we were taught bad. We don't change.
No, you're exactly right. We were all born ignorant. We got stupid from our education.
We born ignorant, stupid. See, I think we were born with all the knowledge we needed, but we've lost all of it through teachings, through lack of faith, through fear, through bullying, through all of those things. Right. What it does to do it.
So our education made us stupid.
Well, it's funny because, you know, my father had a 4th grade education. My mother had a 5th. But I go to my father, and my father used to say, he used to be a sugar king with the horse and the blade and all that. So my father did not have much education, but he did have spirit. And he was very faithful because his mother and father told him, no matter how much you don't go to school, God is always here. That was the way he was raised. And he once said to me, when you have your kids, don't worry about how much schooling they get. Worry about how much schooling you're going to show them. Not teach them, show them. Because children learn by watching and hearing. You know, you can go to school and learn economics, and I get that. But they watch what you do. So when you come home from your 4th job, and you hit the bottle, and you hit your wife, or you hit your kids, you hit the dog, you hit the bird, because you're frustrated, they're watching that. And all of a sudden, mom and dad going through a hard time in life becomes life. And you begin to take all of that frustration, and you begin to say, you know, this is the way it's got to be. Because I got to grab what I want in life, because I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be drinking and smacking mom. I don't want that. And they become sideways. And all of a sudden, what was all set out wrong out of frustration, wrong learnings, whatever, becomes the only way. Becomes the only way. And then you grow up to be a politician with weapons that can destroy the world. And all of a sudden, all the mom and dads and all these things that you learned when you were a kid are going to come out, and you're going to infect, which is, I think, what your book is about. Infect the world.
Infect the world.
And they should learn to read. And you should learn, you know, look at all of the great Napoleons. Look at all of these idiots who failed at doing this. Eventually, that's what's going to happen. Except this time, the stakes are going to be higher because they're going to probably hurt the earth with this stuff.
And we are happy Friday, everyone who's writing in. Everyone's watching.
But that's what it comes down to. You know, bad education will lead to bad endings. And I look at it, I see how people are frustrated, fears. You know, the norm right now is fear, because you don't know what's going to happen. So you teach your kids fear.
I don't know if it's you're outwardly teaching fear or are they feeling the fear because you're afraid of losing your job, you're afraid of the gas, groceries, insurance, student loans. How are you going to pay for things? What happens? You become fearful of every little bit, every $10 on your credit card, you get $250,000 in student loans. What's a tank of gas cost? It's fear. We had a show the other day we talked about, right? The opposite of love is fear. Not hate.
Not hate.
But the fear of what it is. Let's take a commercial break. When we come back, let's talk more to Frank. Let's talk to Cece. Let's see what else we've got. Because you know what? It's Friday. We're going into the weekend. We need to have a whole lot more faith. So stay tuned, 888-994-4995, Studio A, and we'll be right back.
When it comes to investigative services, you can't settle for inattentive or irresponsible services. PI Network of Florida is a firm that you can rely on for actionable insight for personal or professional matters, from surveillance and insurance claims to background checks and identity theft. The investigative services are extensive. With over 30 years experience and 2 decades of serving the community, PI Network of Florida is trustworthy and reliable. Call today at 786-768-4394. Trust your gut. Trust PI Network of Florida.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40-plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work, or if you're interested in your own Jay Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com, or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
What would you do if you had a broken bone? You'd go to the doctor and use your insurance, right? What would you do if you had a serious problem with drugs and alcohol? Most people do nothing until it's too late. Your insurance can help you get clean and sober with the assistance of a place like the Detox and Treatment Helpline. Many times treatment is fully covered, so why not use your insurance to treat your addiction problem just like you would if you had a broken bone? And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you're allowed by law to take off time from work, and your employer doesn't need to know the reason. So there are 2 good reasons. You've got insurance you can use for your addiction problem, and with the Family Medical Leave Act, it's completely confidential. Call us right now and save a life.
Call 855-350-4504. That's 855-350-4504. Call 855-350-4504 now.
If your family is suffering from inflation and high costs caused by Lois Frankel's reckless policies, Republican Dan Franzese is clearly your best choice for Congress. Dan is a successful businessman who understands finance and economics. He's not a politician. Dan grew up blue collar and knows how tough inflation is on working families. Dan Franzese will go to Washington and fight the liberals who are killing us with inflation. Dan Franzese for Congress.
I'm Dan Franzese, and I approve this message.
Artist Rosie Sherman. Visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Singer-songwriter J.D. Danner has been wowing crowds nationally and globally, touring U.S. military bases and LGBTQ events in support of Pride. With over 5,000 YouTube hits, J.D. captivates his audiences with her Joan Jett meets Johnny Cash style, with her newest single, Nothing But Faith. Join us Friday, October 14th for a live performance at the Arts Garage for Life in a Song, The J.D. Danner Story.
I gotta tell you, I love that. We're going to go see her Friday, right?
We're going to be there Friday. If anyone wants to join us, it's up at Arts Garage in Delray Beach, Friday, October 14th, a week from today, 8 to 10 o'clock, and to watch how JD has evolved and her music has evolved. She talks about her story of coming out, what it was like getting married, getting divorced, finally coming out and coming to terms with who she really is, all through music and song.
And And now her music is fabuloso.
Absolutely. Pretty remarkable. Sally, come on in.
You guys coming in? It's funny, you know, we've been doing this long enough.
Cece, maybe I can move you here and put Sally there. Sure. Thanks.
We had, we've been doing this long enough that when people come in, I see people actually from years ago, and it happened yesterday again. Somebody that we knew radio station wise and everything else wise. Lynn, you're gonna bring Lynn on this side?
Yep.
Then come on this side. And it happened again. And it happened again, and it happened again. Now, if you're gonna do that, don't go that way.
You might just have to walk right in front of us.
Yep, come this way.
He's like, no, he's not gonna do
Path
that.
of least resistance, otherwise.
But yeah, I went to see JC Dreesen, and while I was waiting for you to come, you were doing your Friday gig. You came over, and I saw JD Danner, and she's like, oh my gosh, can you help promote my show? And I feel like it's going to be ABBA of our modern day, of her coming to terms with who she is, all through music and all through song, which is great. And this is not her main, she has a day job that, it's interesting, she works with her ex-husband on her day job. And music is her side passion and her hustle, and she's got great merch. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can bring your own food, actually, to Arts Garage also. So come on out, join us. You can buy tickets.
You told me you couldn't do that. Oh, yeah, you can bring the food,
but
you
not
can't bring the booze.
Right, because they've got a great bar. So I was going to try to get the ice cream guy in there, which I think would be kind of cool also.
It would be kind of fun.
So we'll see. But CC was here with us last night because, you know,
Triple
nothing
C.
lifts the soul like
Triple
music.
C.
And on Thursday nights at 7:30.
He's no longer CC.
He's Triple C.
Triple C.
Thursday nights at 7:30, we have Night Train, brought to you by Brooklyn Cafe Show and Don Cornelius, apparently.
You keep talking.
You can't sit?
I can't watch this. Tell him to come to the front. I'll do it.
He's going to check that out. So we just have to, Katie, as soon as you have that clip queued up, Josh got to play with Triple C last night, and nothing more special than seeing one of your crew members get to play and to watch his passion and his love of playing. CC, it was Triple C. It was incredible to watch Josh. Did you send him the music ahead of time?
I asked him to play one or two songs, and then he learned a couple more on top of that. So it was pretty interesting how, you know, I knew Josh as a musician, so I knew he could learn it really quick.
Well, I'm not sure what you did to him because he's on injured reserve over
He
there.
is.
I never knew like playing a guitar could be so stressful, strenuous. I'm teasing him.
Yeah.
He's been working so hard. By Friday, he's just out.
He's asleep. He's snoring over there.
So
Somebody
Katie,
take pictures.
Katie, you have that clip? Yep. All
You
right.
have it? Let's see it.
You all right, Josh? How's it feel, man?
That one hurt a little, but that was all right.
Y'all make sure you keep on checking in with the Night Train and check in with the Brooklyn Cafe Show every day, y'all. The morning show, the night show, and we want to thank everybody listening on the radio right now. Josh, you ready to play some more music, man? All right, let's do it. Beth, I hear you calling, but I can't come home right now. Me and the boys are playing, and we just can't find a sound. Just a few more hours, and I'll be right home to you. I think I hear them calling. Oh,
Beth, don't you ever wonder who she is?
No.
You married her? No, I'm kidding. I didn't mean that. As I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's kind of funny. But ever wonder like who the inspiration is of these songs? Do they ever tell you?
I believe Peter Criss wrote this song, and it was about his wife, Beck. But then Gene Simmons changed the name to Beth instead of Beck because they didn't want him thinking that he was singing about Jeff Beck back in the day.
Ah, interesting.
Why did you pick that song? Let me get a camera 4. Why'd you pick that song?
Well, Josh and myself and a couple other people went and seen Kiss in West Palm Beach a couple weeks ago. And we're big fans, and I figured we could do a tribute to Kiss Since I wasn't here last week, we went to Tennessee to get away from the storm, and my wife couldn't fly into Florida because they canceled all the flights in and out. So I had to drive to Tennessee and stayed with my family and spent the birthday with my wife. And then so when we came back, I still wanted to do a tribute to Kiss because Kiss is one of my favorite bands in the whole world. So
You went to see them live.
we did. I was probably 4 rows back, and Gene Simmons was right there in my face. It
I
was
saw your wife
amazing.
singing.
Can you believe
Yeah.
that Gene Simmons is still playing and singing?
Gene Simmons shares the birthday with my mom, so he's 71 years old right now.
I can't believe he still wears that getup.
Hey, whatever sells. Gene Simmons is a very knowledgeable man for money.
Have you ever seen Gene Simmons without makeup? What he looks like? He could be sitting right next to you.
Right?
Yeah.
You seen him?
Yeah, I've seen him without makeup.
I've never seen him without makeup.
It's a whole turnaround when he doesn't have his makeup on. They did a whole anthology on him without makeup, and when his 2 personas, like Beyonce, with makeup,
He
without
gets into
makeup.
character?
They get into
Wonder
character.
how long it takes him to dress up like that.
It takes him 2.5 hours to put his makeup on and get ready for. I'm sure it takes longer now because he's older, but he did a whole interview that it takes 2 hours from start to finish to get that makeup on.
What do you think it is about Gene Simmons and Kiss, just everything about them?
I just think it's the shock of seeing them first. It's personas, and it's almost like a circus. You go to the circus to see the clown.
What is that? And then I went to Radio City and saw the concert. Holy smokes!
I think our TV just, oh, there it is, it's back.
The change of these guys and the way the shoes, the thing, and then I found out about how he had the tongue surgically serpent. He looks like a serpent with the tongue and all that. But everything about them is different. I mean, that's just entertainment at another level. And I kind of look at you, and I know your music, and I hear you sing, and then I see how much theater they present for you. You love the theater. You love, this guy pops a song like you write a book. You can go in a closet, come back with 5 books. This guy goes in the closet, comes out with 5 songs.
But it's interesting. It's the creative mind of delivering a message and how you get to do that, whether it be through music. We've got authors, we've got artists on. And in the physical sense, Sally paints, Frank writes, CeCe sings, Lynn is a publisher. But underneath that physical world of what it is, there's a message behind the words, the art, the stories, the messages. If you actually take the time to look beneath the facade or the makeup, right?
Right, exactly.
What is the message that everyone should be sharing, or should we be learning from that? And I bet Kiss has some pretty powerful messages.
Did you learn anything from Kiss, message-wise?
I'm more of a Paul Stanley fan than I am a Gene Simmons fan. And if you listen to Paul Stanley's music, it's all about being on the road. It's about being away from your loved ones, but it's also about celebrating the fans and the people who actually come see you perform. And then there's other songs, a lot of his songs is about the rock and roll lifestyle, enjoying it, the enjoyments of it. So
it must be amazing when you're playing in front of thousands, hundreds of thousands of fans, and your life you're not normal anymore. You're public now, and you can't seem to shake privacy. It disappears, and it's no longer there.
But then what is your calling? Right? I think
I think it changes.
You think people's calling change? You think your calling changes? You think your calling has changed? Your underlying ultimate gift from God.
Yeah, but I don't sing stuff in front of 100,000 people.
Yeah, but you do it in a different way.
You're an entertainer.
You're an entertainer.
You're like
people
me.
in a duck. That's not entertainment. That's just, having fun with this thing. But when you play in front of a stadium, you've gone to public stadiums, you've seen games, right? Take yourself and put yourself on that field and look around. I played ball in some stadiums. They were empty, of course, but I got to play in them. And I went to the pitcher's mound or 50-yard line, and I look up, and I can only imagine what that would feel like. And then they call your name, or they follow the words to your music and things of that nature. Everything begins to change.
You think you can stay humble in a situation like that?
It would probably be very hard. You ever been in the circumstance, like I was coaching a football team one day, and we won a championship, and everything slowed down. you can see the parents screaming, but everything slows down. Everything, because you are so caught in the moment. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it happened to me a couple of times because I won a couple of championships. Everything changed. I'm watching the kids cheer. And I'm saying, God, why is everybody moving in slow motion like they're on the water? So I can only imagine. You've played in big crowds?
I've played for 45 to 50,000 people for Southern Rock Woodstock.
And how'd that feel?
It was amazing. I mean, they had to drag me off the stage because I loved the energy that everybody was giving us. I mean, it was opening up for like the Leonard Skinner tribute band, and then opening up for Molly Hadgett tribute band. You know, they had a few originals in there, and just the crowd, the feeling you get when you're in front of a crowd, or even if I'm performing. I love theater, so I love doing theater productions and being in plays and all that. Just performing for everybody and seeing the smiles on the faces or seeing the people enjoy it. That's what we're there for, because if the crowd's not there, you're pretty much doing karaoke by yourself at home. So
done that too.
Yeah.
The crowds, the messages. But when you're living I really think your authentic self, your passion, your calling, when that is who you are. I go back to one of the sermons I heard this week, earlier. We had a senior rabbi when we joined the synagogue 27 years ago. And now we actually met him at the Parkinson's choir. That's why we were there, because now he's in his 80s. He suffers from Parkinson's. He just lost his wife. So he doesn't walk. He's not very mobile. But his voice and his message is still as powerful as it was 30 years ago. And the way he evokes emotion and to say, follow your passion and why we are here every day to enjoy life, to enjoy the gifts that we have given, family moments, entertainment, whatever it is that we do. And I'm listening to him and I said, you know what? He may not walk and his physical mobility is gone, but he is truly a born leader in the passion for his calling of what his message is to deliver. And I think everyone here has their own messages and have found their calling, whatever stage in life it is. And you look at all of them, and you're not just singing, and you're not just writing, and you're not just painting from another century. There's a reason all of this comes together, and it all comes together here.
And it's funny, do you feel that the reason you're here has levels of education? Sometimes you go one step forward, 2 steps back, because you got to learn that one step, that extra step. Do you feel that it changes you, or are you growing, or is this it? You know what your calling is, and you just got to get to delivering it?
I think it gets more intense. It doesn't change you, but it gets you more focused on what you want to say.
Are you the same writer today you were 10 years ago?
I'm a better writer today than I was 10 years ago, but my intensity is more now than it was before. My messages are more now than they were before.
Is there more sense of urgency now, Frank, for you?
Urgency?
I mean, to get it to where you want it delivered. You want people to read your books, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, time. I don't have that much time left, so yeah.
That's what Freddie always says.
Slope. I'm on the downslope. A lot of people
we're
sound like him.
We're on borrowed time. We're on borrowed time. But you want to people to read it because you want to have the conversations to go into that right path.
Yep.
Sometimes I try to explain urgency to them because they're young. They tell them they got 50, 60, 80 years. They don't see urgency. But to get from point A to point D, you got to go through all those other letters. There's got to be a sense of urgency, correct? Or not?
Yeah, there's a sense of urgency. I mean, you want to get it done. You want to send it out because the younger generation think they're immortal.
They're invincible.
But it's the messages. The same thing. You know, the messages you want to get out there. And Frank writes in his messages, hopefully of faith, right? Like we look at the other side and say we've lost it through these books as mankind. We need to gain it back.
Well, when Frank writes, I think that the urgency is to learn what it is that he's writing about. Is the understanding of what it is you're looking to get from it. And it's like CeCe when he's singing.
And CeCe's young.
And you ever see some of the music that he
younger
writes?
Than all of us.
You know, there's a lot of words in CeCe's music if you listen to it, whether it depends on how you look at it. It's not always popsicles. There's a lot of stuff in there if you listen to it.
Very complex.
It is. It is. And I was listening to Sally and Lynn talking in Studio B, some of the transitions and things that they talk about. And the amazing thing is the two of them, they'll talk about one subject and then they'll talk about these past lives.
I want to get into all of that.
They're talking to these past lives, and the next thing you know, what they were talking about takes a 15-minute break, and then they go back to it. And then there's another past life for another 20 minutes. So I'm looking at them, and it's one of these deals where let's have this conversation, but hold it, let's come over here for a second. Hold it, let's go back to where we were. Hold it. And it looked like a tennis match. It was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. See, what I love to do is every day I get exposed to your music last night, to the kid playing the guitar and watching his face. And they didn't show his face because he looked like a gremlin.
Yeah, he was behind the microphone. Yeah.
But he was trying. You know, you gotta, anybody who tries in my world is okay. I don't care if you make it, you don't make it. But that's what I love. I love the way you work with people and you let them express, and all of this energy comes forward, and Sally begins to tell you about these images, and they both begin to, I was like, wow, you got to come in here. I wish there was a camera.
All right, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, we have to get into all of this, into past lives, into the messages, truly finding your calling and passion. And, you know, you may not find when you're 18, 20. I didn't start working with you till I was almost 50. And here we go. Time
I don't
to
know
keep
what
going.
the hell that has to
you
do
know,
with anything,
sometimes
but
it's about timing and actually finding out what you really want to do in life.
what it has to do, if you were in that room, you would understand.
So
See,
we're going to come back after break and do that.
We got to put what we feel in an envelope. So when you open it, things that come out will explain it. Because it's hard to explain.
Garcia's going to put that in a video for us. It's an envelope. When we open up the envelope and all of that comes out, we're going to find out.
A
We're going to
magic
take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Stephanie Jaffe is a world-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to StephanieJaffeArt.com.
Welcome to Lost Harbor Spirits, a world where pirates inspire our spirits, treasures remain undiscovered, and flavors are infused with the essence of mysterious voyages. The distillery became one of the few women-owned craft spirits production sites in the U.S. From our award-winning spirits of vodka and rum to delicious gin, we're always coming up with some new and exciting flavors to keep your cocktails delicious and fresh. Contact Palm Beach Distillery at lostharborspirits.com to take a tour or purchase your favorite spirit at your local liquor store.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days, all in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
Call 855-348-5925. That's 855-348-5925. Again, 855-348-5925.
Tax audits, tax liens,
wage garnishments.
Every day we hear stories like this about good folks who are simply struggling to pay their bills. Each of them are living a frightening IRS tax nightmare, and they are afraid it will destroy their lives.
I'm a divorced single mom, and my ex-husband left me and the kids with a lot of unpaid bills, including unpaid taxes. I was really starting to show my stress on my kids because the IRS had sent me a letter demanding a huge payment from me. I couldn't afford it. So then the IRS was threatening to garnish my wages. I'm already living paycheck to paycheck. That would have put me over the edge financially.
It truly seemed hopeless, but then a friend at work told her to call the tax relief line.
The people at the tax relief line, they told me about something called innocent spouse relief. They worked it out so that all of the taxes from my ex are not my problem. I don't know how that works, and I don't care. All I care about is that I don't owe the IRS a dime, and they are not going to take my paycheck.
Even if it seems hopeless, you should call the number on your screen right now. There is absolutely no cost for the call or the consultation. You are under no obligation. If you are worried that the IRS could garnish your wages, seize your assets, even take your home, call us right now. The Tax Relief Line is here to help you. Now you have a knowledgeable, professional team of tax experts that are ready to negotiate with the IRS and fight for you to save you money. The Tax Relief Line's professionals have successfully negotiated thousands of cases, reducing and sometimes even eliminating the tax debt for their clients. It's very easy to get started. Simply call the number on your screen right now. You don't have to live in fear anymore. The call and the consultation are free.
When you wear Zamboni Couture, you can feel pride knowing that you are supporting a small woman-owned business. We advocate for women's empowerment and always embracing feminine freedom and equality. Our fashion is all about style, quality, passion, and color through the use of amazing fabrics to help you find your own individual style. Let us inspire you with beauty and color. Follow us at Zamboni Couture on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or call us at 561-860-6099.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this great day, October 7th, also known as World Smile Day. Find a reason to smile. Doesn't need to be a day dedicated, just find a reason. So for the first reason to smile today is that today in Oregon, the Hampton Lumber Company planted yellow trees in the shape of, you guessed it, a smiley face. So now in every autumn near Route 18, drivers nearby can see this smiley face, and it leaves you to wonder, like, if people are driving by, do you think that they also catch a smile? Because I've heard somewhere out there that a smile is, in fact, contagious. So, next up, next picture, please. Okay, so renewable energy takes a big win today as studies find that these resources have met 100% of new power installations during the first half of 2022. That's a lot of numbers, but what this means, according to goodnewsnetwork.org, is that not only has 4% of fossil fuel generation been prevented, but it also means that $40 billion in fossil fuel costs have been stopped. Renewable resources for the win. These efforts will surely make the future something worth smiling for. Next pic, please. In Wales, a picture day prank was pulled by none other than a cat. That's right, this photogenic feline jumped in front of the camera and posed like he was born to do it. And the best thing is, these pics were sent straight to the family's mother. Now it makes you wonder, do you think that she put the pictures on the fridge door? Because I think I would for a quick smile. Next pic, please. Now, we're moving to Ukraine. But it's good news this time because a little girl named Agnes lost her cat to the war, but her community around her helped her, around a dozen people, find the cat, and now her best friend and her are reunited. Great news. Next up, please. This time we're moving to the NFL. Washington Commanders James Smith Williams is tackling domestic violence in homes with the aid of nonprofit organization Set the Expectation. There are a lot of people that struggle with domestic violence, so it's great to see that an NFL player, Smith Williams, along with countless others, are taking a stand to do everything they can to help those in need. And final pick, please. Now, this one's a strange one. So this story involves a pumpkin, a very large pumpkin. In fact, a 2,500-pound pumpkin. That's right. In New England, James Graham grew a pumpkin that weighs almost the weight of a hippo. Isn't that insane? Now, I don't know what he's going to do with the pumpkin, but I do know that they can make enough pumpkin pie to go around the town. That's all I'm saying. I wish to be invited for that. Now, that's my last piece of news. Now, even though it's Smile Day, it doesn't have to be your only reason to smile. You can just do it. It takes more muscles to frown than does to smile. So let's take some work off of our daily lives and just smile. You know what I mean? And that's all for me. I've been Mayor. Thank you for listening.
I like it.
Hey, it made a smile.
A little of it made you smile.
It made me smile.
There you have it, Katie. Just a dose of positivity for Friday.
That was interesting. A lot of pumpkin.
You like pumpkin?
I love it.
Do you? They want to carve a pumpkin here, so maybe I'll have to get one.
I hate it. It's messy.
Bree wants to carve a pumpkin, so maybe next week we'll get a pumpkin.
Didn't we do that one year? Teddy did.
Teddy might have.
She did it one year. It wasn't easy, but she did a nice job.
I thought they can carve the pumpkin and then we can cook up the pumpkin seeds.
We used to do that too. You guys used to cook those pumpkin seeds in the day, put a little salt
Did
in
they do
it.
that in London?
Well, a long time ago they didn't, but over the last 15 years, yeah.
They've Americanized it.
I didn't kind of know what Halloween was when I first came here. I thought I was seeing a lot of ghosts. Now I am.
Yeah, you're seeing ghosts, literally. We've got Sally Bernard and Lynn Everard joining us, hosts of Call Me Zena, The Editor's Desk, and I love how everything comes together because they are now in collaboration of Sally's second edition of her book. But apparently, according to you, it's bigger than the book. They're doing past life traveling during all of these
meetings.
meetings.
No, that was a meeting that they had. They're talking about the book and everything else, and then all of a sudden they go, and now back to a commercial break, and whoop, and they start talking about
I didn't realize
things.
you were sitting in the corner until I saw, so you were listening.
No, it wasn't that I was listening.
Don't mind. I'm happy.
It wasn't that I was listening. It just, I got up to make the coffee, so when I sat down, you guys started to talk about
It was
some other
interesting.
deals about kings and queens or kings and kings, and I'm like, what? And then they went back to the book, and so I went back to the computer. But it's interesting to see the conversations you have when you meet people,
right?
That are on that same plane.
I'm still wondering, I ask Sally this question every week on her show. From your past life of your purpose, of who you were, as your energy and your soul travels, and I guess, Lynn, I'm going to ask you the same thing. Does your purpose and your calling stay the same if our energy does not change? Is our soul who we are throughout these lives?
Yes, it is, but not every lifetime do you have to come in. You can have a different theme. If it's important for this lifetime where I was and the one that actually we're discussing for the book, I believe it is important because I remembered a lot in that lifetime of what I'm now beginning to access again. It was dormant for the last few lifetimes, but it's coming back to me. So yes, it's relevant. My personality apparently, because I did know someone from that lifetime, and he said to me, I mean, I had so much validation from him, and again, I was drawing from that lifetime, so I have to believe what happened. I haven't changed that much in personality.
Uh-oh.
But the good side, no, the good side is still there. Since you know who I was, I better not say that.
But you know, it's interesting because it would be interesting to know the perseverance of your past life, who you were. If maybe it was portrayed in history differently based on the circumstances surrounding her, and maybe ultimately she was in survival mode for whatever reason. And it's the circumstances that caused her to act in that way.
I totally agree with that. Since I'm looking, I still look at her as
Lynn's
the third
shaking his
person.
head yes also.
With
Lynn's shaking his head yes, as well.
I do agree with that. But because I drew from that lifetime, but I don't remember the exact personality that I had, but I did have someone prompting me on that. So basically, I think we don't always stay exactly the same because we choose different roles when we come here. But if this theme from that role is important from here, I will take on that personality. Hopefully all the good, finer points of her life. But It's there somewhere in our, well, as Alder used to say, our super consciousness. So it's there, but I'm pulling on that right now.
Lynn, do you think we pick up on personas and themes in our life currently because there's a reason that we need to access that emotion and that understanding?
Yeah, I think that aspects of our personality travel with us through time. I think it's one of the ways we're able to recognize other people. Now, our bodies are completely different from life to life, but there's just, it's like I call it a soul signature, where you just know this other soul, and then there's these little clues that you see in a person, and then that's what I meant by the soul signature. It's like, oh, well, here it's in their personality, or here it's in something else.
How is it that you're able to do that and the person next to you can't do that?
Well, so the way I look at it is I've been so open to this and just allowing this to come through. I think, Dawn, you asked me before how many past lives I was familiar with, of my past lives I was familiar with. Yeah. And right now it's about a dozen. And more keep showing up. And it's not like I'm going and looking for them, but I have noticed a pattern. And the pattern for me is that when I get really obsessed with something, like where I have to know more about it, and I'm on Google and I'm searching for something, then that's a clue to me that there's a past life and that I may actually be meeting someone from that past life. I had a situation about 2 years ago where a person in Scotland was looking information up about me online. She didn't contact me for a year after that. But what was amazing was that during the time she was doing the research on me, I had this unbelievable fascination with Scottish pipe bands. I was watching Scottish pipe bands on YouTube almost all the time. But I didn't know at the time that somebody was in Scotland was actually looking for me. So I don't know how else to explain it. It's just if you see the patterns in your life, you observe the patterns in your life, you observe the patterns of the things that you're interested in for whatever reason. I had a situation happen over the weekend where on Saturday I was watching a mountain bike race on YouTube. I have never done that before. I've never had an interest in it before. And 2 days later, I found out that one of my dearest friends, her partner, was injured in a mountain bike race on Saturday.
Oh, geez.
So I didn't know what the cause was, but I knew I was being, now when I do that, I look at things and I say, oh, I'm drawn to this for some reason, even if I don't know the reason in the moment.
Wow. Well, you and I both did our why assessments.
Yeah.
And we're going to meet with Lynn on Monday to find out how we can work together.
Can I just follow up on something that Lynn just said? When you mention, I believe we meet people when we're ready from our other past lives. As you know, I've mentioned that here. I believe that we were together. But now I just got some real validation, Lynn, from you. And it's funny because we've been talking for 2 hours, but that needed to come out. The bagpipes. Ever since I was a child, you call them something different, but I guess in England we call them bagpipes. I was obsessed with them. I did find out actually that my grandparents, who I didn't know on my mother's side, passed. They were from Scotland. I didn't know that. But ever since I was a baby, I couldn't stop listening to the bagpipes. I believe that's something we're going to have to explore more, Lynn, in the book, because I think there was a connection there too.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And Lynn's co-host on the editor's desk is Luis Gomez. And you've written a book about your past lives in Mexico. But you've now come across some other past lives that you think you've been with Louise in.
Yeah, well, there's one more life that I'm aware of that she and I shared. It wasn't a very long life, but it was in New Zealand. And we actually, I know that we both died very young.
Wow.
I don't even know if we were married at that. I think we were headed toward being married, but I'm not even sure we lived to the point of getting married.
It's so fascinating to me to watch all of this come forward. Frank, you believe in past lives? No? You think
No.
you're just here one time? That's it?
But I think we're just here one time, and that's it.
Isn't that
I mean,
interesting?
I'm not. It could be possible, I guess, but
So a spiritual guy just came down from the heavens and started talking to you. One time. That's what you
Well.
see.
has been.
Okay.
Interesting different perspectives, right?
And it's funny, sometimes people walk into a room, you ever notice that you look twice and say, what do I know this guy from? Or what do I know her from? Or why is it that it feels like you want to have a conversation with them? I mean, 98% of the times you don't because they're strangers. Or if they write a book and you read a passage and all of a sudden something in your life lights up. Like, you know something, I just remember saying this. Or I read this somewhere. Where is it? And it just has this lingering effect. And I think that when you get caught up trying to deliver messages and giving people guidance and things of that nature, and, I mean, Frank writes a book. He could write a book a week if you let him.
He's got 5
Right?
that are just finished.
You have
right?
a lot of stuff that you want to say. And I think that the next level of what you're going to be seeing is that more and more people are going to be reading these books, and then you're going to notice, what do I know you from? And how do I know you from? And why do I know you from? And it changes how you get there. I've learned in the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks, things in here have changed with the people that have come forward. And I listen to the stories. I listen to what they're talking about. I listen to the pain. I listen to the things that we all go through. And I'm learning because everybody has a journey. And it's really interesting that he understands we have one life. But that's for now.
You know, it's funny because I never understood my fascination with horses and horse racing and white horses until I come up with some past life experiences, and it makes a little bit, and everyone teases me, why are you on horses? Why do you love horse racing to watch it on TV? I don't know. I just
We
do.
went to a horse farm one time to talk to these guys. The guy had all these horses that smelled like horse manure. I mean, it was a huge place. And Dawn gets in a car because they're going to give her a tour of the farm. She was gone for hours. I don't know. I left. I said, well, I guess they're not coming back. So I
forgot
just
about
left.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I feel
And
like
I left.
Louise. Yeah, I forgot about that thing that happened.
And I left. And I said, I guess this is where, you know, she got so carried away with these horses that she didn't realize that I didn't go.
And there were therapy horses for the children, and there were just, to me, that is one of the greatest gifts that horses do, that you can actually help children with autism and special needs get in touch and they're massive animals, but yet they can be so gentle
See,
and do
I
so
always
many
thought
great
that there
things.
were spirits in animals, like a horse was whatever, and a dog and a cat. You ever look at their faces and the way they look at you and the way they try to talk to you? To me, there's a human soul in these animals, you know, even chickens, believe it or not. And when you live on a farm, I guess you sort of run out of creative things to think about. And you start talking to the animals and they start talking back. You ever seen the movies where they have animals talk to you like Dr. Dolittle and all that? I laugh because I lived on a farm for 4 years. And I told my father, I got to get out of here because I just talked to the cows. And he says, yeah, but did they talk back? And I said, yeah, that's the problem. It isn't you talking to them, that's easy. But when they start talking back, you got to...
I was driving home last night and a family of raccoons crossed over the railroad tracks as I was driving. And literally, I could tell you that the father raccoon, how would I know that was the father raccoon, looks over, looks at me, and it's like, just let me cross. And it was 2 raccoons and a baby. There were 3 family just across the street. And I thought, oh my gosh, if I'm talking to the raccoons, you know it's been a long day.
It happens.
It was a long day for us.
You know, life is full of changes, and those that are receptive to change, whether it's music or the written word, you're going to run into more changes as things go along.
And the messages. But I'm excited to meet with Lynn on Monday.
I'm not sure I'm excited.
I asked him if he
don't know
understood
that
what our
means. I don't
answers
know.
were.
Today, one why. Why? Maybe 3 whys. I don't know. We'll see.
Lynn, did you find it interesting?
So, yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun on Monday because you two share one of the, so there's the why, the how, and the what. So you share one of the 9 items. You have them in different places, but you share it, and it'll be really interesting to discuss that.
Just one.
Earlier, Don, you were talking about calling, right? And so your why is your purpose, but it's like it's your whole life. This is almost like your personal owner's manual for how you do life. Now, calling, I look at as being something very specific that you are equipped to do that maybe nobody else is equipped to do. It's like you have gifts that support the calling, and like for me, it's, ever since I wrote the book when I first met you guys, it's all about helping people discover and learn to speak their truth. And I do it in different ways, but like working with authors, like working with Sally, I'm supporting her in speaking her truth. And so it all, for me, that's really my calling.
Your gift is to help people support their truth. It's interesting. Cece, what do you think your gift is?
What do you calling?
Or calling?
I think my calling is just to be an entertainer, to entertain people, whether it be in here, whether it be on stage singing in front of big crowds, or wrestling, pro wrestling back in the day, or something. It's just entertaining a crowd, giving that brief moment of forgetting about jobs or forgetting about life and just giving them something to enjoy.
Frank, how about you?
I like to tell stories, have people break away from their humdrum everyday routine and read something that may influence them or inspire them to do something else or realize who they are.
Are you here to teach or something, or to open up people's minds? So
Open up people's minds and let them realize what's going on.
Explore the possibility.
Do you feel that calling is stronger now than when you started to write?
I don't think it's stronger now than when I first started, but it's not stronger than it was 5 years ago, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So I
So you
started
always
writing.
knew
I
it.
started writing in 2010. So I would guess around about 2015 is when it peaked.
Now, before you got married and you met your wife and everything else, and you were a young man in 17, 18, did you have any of these
No.
callings? It was
No,
just
I didn't.
you were just a humble guy doing what you do.
I was just a normal slob doing what everything else everybody else did.
Anything in
you
your
know.
life ever happened to change that normal
No.
slob? No.
No.
Interesting.
No, I mean it just came to me one day in 2010. An idea came to my mind to write a story, and then, like I said, the voices haven't stopped since.
You're opening the Bible.
That happened
When you started
when
the
we
first one.
became volunteers at an apparition site. That was basically when it started.
But whose idea was it to do that? Yours or hers?
Ours.
Yeah, but who came up with it? Or did you wake up one day and says, we're going to apparition site?
We're going to what?
We're going to go to the site. We gotta.
No, we kept hearing about this apparition site in Hollywood, and we're not that religious, but we practice our religion, and we kept saying, well, we should go down there, but we could never find the address. Every time they would talk about it on the radio or put an ad or put an article in the paper, they would say, oh yeah, this coming 13th in Hollywood, there's going to be blah blah blah. They never said where. They just said Hollywood. And we kept saying, well, we need to find this place. We kept looking for it and we couldn't find it. And then one Saturday, Christine found an article. It was in the paper, I believe, and they actually said where it was. It was going to happen at this such and such address on 66th and Arthur, whatever it is, off
That
Taft
was the
Street.
deal.
The rest is
How
history.
long have you been married?
48 years this June.
Wow,
It's a long time.
it's amazing.
And that's how we happened. We just happened to go down there. She said, well, I found a place, let's go. And it was like in the middle of the afternoon, it was late morning. And I said, well, this is probably going to be over by the time we get there. And so well, we tried anyway. So at the time, they were getting about 2,000 or 3,000 people around the house in this street in Hollywood. Police would have to come and shut the streets off. They put barricades up and close the traffic off because the people were all in the street. We couldn't park anywhere near the place. So we parked up at a shopping center, small little shopping center, Publix or Winn-Dixie Shopping Center on Taft in 66, and we walked down to the house. And when we got there, I guess we were about 50 yards from the house, I guess, somewhere. We were getting close because it was all people. It was just people crowding around the house. And it was almost at the end of what was going on, and there was one of the volunteers there was reading the message that Mary had given in English, because what happens is this visionary who was from Cuba, she would give them, when she would receive the message, she would give it in Spanish. And then volunteers would have to record it, and they'd have to run into an office and quickly translate it, and then later, you know, within about an hour or so, they would come out and give it in English. So we heard like the end of the message that was given in English, and it was done. And then the visionary said, "Everybody hold hands, and then and the Holy Spirit's going to come down and touch you all." That's how they ended it. And we were, you know, we weren't in the crowd. We held hands, and then that was it. We left. So then when we were walking back to the car, I asked her if she felt anything when the visionary said that. I don't think you said you didn't feel anything or something. I don't remember. And I said, as soon as she said, hold hands and the Holy Spirit's going to come and touch you all, I felt something hot at the top of my head, and then went hot all the way through my head to my feet. So then Chris used to work for Dun & Bradstreet in Hollywood, which was right near there. So she used to go there every 13th at lunch, because 5 minutes she was there, and I was working, so I didn't go. The only time I started going to the apparition site was when it happened to be on a Saturday. And then from that, we decided to start volunteering, and we were there for 12 years as volunteers.
Long time.
And the rest, they say, is history.
And there's stories I can tell from that place that were unbelievable.
You gonna write a book about it?
I started to, and then I stopped. I mean, I had started compiling some of the message she did, and started compiling some of the testimonies people had given, and then it sort of faded away. I didn't really do anything. So, but it's I can sit here and tell stories upon stories upon stories about people that were healed, people that were spiritually healed, people that were physically healed, people that weren't healed.
Definitely a gift.
But you never did it. Why? You never put the story together.
No, I never did.
You rather deliver it a different way.
Yeah, I'd rather deliver it a different way. And so I deliver it my way, or the way I was told to deliver it. Put it that way.
His gift and his calling. Sally, what's your gift?
Yeah, actually, I can relate to a lot of your story. Only what happened to me, I've gone public more with it because I've chosen to do that. But I definitely changed overnight. I was not an artist. Something happened to me in 2006. But as far as my story goes, I was quiet for a long time. But I can relate to many things happening to me. But I realized I needed to tell people more of my story. Hence, now we're doing even more on the second book. But with that came the belief. And I certainly can't criticize someone that doesn't believe in past lives, because I was that way myself. But when all this happened, it opened me up to past lives. It's just a different, we just have different perspectives of looking at things. But I can understand that. But today, of course, with everything that's gone on, I totally believe in past lives. I mean, I've had my own validation, and I don't expect everybody to believe that. So, but many things after this happened to me, I experienced many, many things, even healing. It's incredible. But it's different ways of presenting a story. It's interesting to hear somebody that's slightly different to mine. I respect everybody's point of view because we're all different.
Well, it comes in different ways. So do you believe the things that you now hear and see? Do you actually say to yourself, that little voice is telling me don't walk down there? I'll never forget that. I was told don't go up that hill, they're going to rob your bike. And I was a kid, I was 12. And who the hell is going to say, something spiritually I should listen? And they robbed my bike. As soon as I hit the hill, boom, they stole the bike. But do you feel things among yourselves now? Do you listen more now than you did before? Now, I know they do. I think Cece's the only exception in here. Do you listen to things that are told to you? Do you hear them?
I can honestly admit I've closed myself off to them in the last year, but I'm starting to open myself up to the message now. Just with everything going on in my life, everything's coming together like it's been told me, and I'm finally opening up and just letting things roll the way they're supposed to, instead of trying to force the way I want it to.
Swimming upstream. Gotta let it flow. All right, we're gonna take one more commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna wrap up our Friday show. What an interesting conversation. Give us a call. Let us know your thoughts, your gifts, your messages. 888-994-4995, Studio A, and we will be right back.
Creative, enchanting, whimsical. Artist Gina Bella is always creating artwork based on real stories and emotions, expressed through Italian papers, paints, flowers, metals, and clay. Her feelings and stories come to life. Complete with glittery diamond dust over paintings and pottery, Gina Bella is always creating new pieces and commissions. You can find her work in staging homes, family Christian bookstores, New Jersey boutiques, and the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery, where she offers personal guided tours of her latest art pieces. Gina can also be found hosting weekend art camps, where she teaches adults and children pottery, painting, and jewelry. For more information on Gina Bella and her art, contact livinglifeartfully@gmail.com or give a call to 954-857-5444. We hope you're enjoying this episode of the Brooklyn Cafe TV show. Whether you enjoy watching in the mornings or afternoons, you can now watch with your favorite merchandise. Choose from the Brooklyn Cafe t-shirts, ranging from sizes small to 3XL. Colors available include black, dark heather, and navy. Feeling chilly? Just check out our latest hoodie with over 9 colors to choose from. Sip on some Brooklyn Cafe coffee with Dawn and Freddie in a matching mug as seen on set. Brooklyn hats and special seasonal items are always popping up and available upon request. To purchase, you can visit our online store at brooklyncafe.tv/shop. Happy shopping!
Coffee News is a fun, family-friendly weekly publication provided free to restaurants, coffee shops, and waiting areas for customers to enjoy. Grow your business today through the power of effective, affordable advertising. Coffee News is an active marketing medium specializing in the ongoing weekly promotion of your business. This builds awareness for your company so you become known as the leader of your industry and develop brand awareness so people think of you first when they want your services or products. Maximize your visibility and achieve outstanding results. For more information on Coffee News, contact Sunrise Coffee News at mail.com or give them a call at 954-951-7870.
Ever needed a good read? Maybe a book to keep your mind off things. Frank A. Ruffalo is an internationally known author and accomplished screenwriter. He's written many successful novels with amazing stories. Fiction adventures like The Lady of the Harbor, The Trihedral of Chaos, Gabriel's Chalice, 10048, and many more. For more information, visit www.frankaraffello.com, or you can find Frank Ravello on Amazon.
Bright, bold, beautiful. Audrey Omart creates artwork pieces that make a statement in any room. Using ethically sourced material, these handmade artworks are made in collaboration with divine higher power. This unique method gives vision, passion, and energy to every piece. Find Audrey Omart's work at the Brooklyn Cafe Studios or audreynow.com. Audrey Omart, art that opens the heart.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. With your insurance, you may qualify to get a new CGM right now at little or no cost to you. By wearing a small remote device, you can immediately reduce the painful finger sticks. They're accurate, easy to use, and help you make better diabetes treatment decisions. If you take insulin 3 or more times a day or use an insulin pump, I want you to call right now and take advantage of our free shipping offer.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
And we're back. Nice Friday show.
I'm tired.
What do you think the overall message we should take into the weekend is? Maybe I shouldn't ask you. Maybe I should ask someone positive.
I am positive. Let's go Mets, baby. Let's go Philly. Yeah. That don't even make sense. Let's go Mets makes sense. Philly, let Philly.
What's our overall positive message to go into this weekend?
I gotta tell you, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? The games.
Okay, I guess we're doing sports.
If my Mets win, I'm throwing a party Monday.
Okay.
Everybody's invited, or don't come.
I think Lynn's looking at having a networking holiday party here.
Who?
Lynn and Louise.
A holiday party? Yeah.
A holiday networking party.
When?
I guess
this
in the holidays.
weekend?
Not this weekend.
Don't do it this weekend. This is wild
No, we're
card
not having
weekend.
a party here this weekend. We're having it in the holiday time.
When the World Series comes.
Okay.
I'm going to either be very depressed Monday or I'm going to be very happy. Frank, don't tell me what you know, because I don't want to.
What's his muse tell him?
Don't tell me what you know, because I'm going to tell you, I think the Mets lose.
Well, it's Sally's birthday this weekend, so Sally, wishing you the most amazing, happiest of birthdays.
Thank you.
You're going to go away, have
I'll
some
be
fun?
in New York.
Were you 21 again?
22.
When was the last time you were in New York?
Oh, about 7 or 8 years ago. Oh, even longer than that. Yeah. That
Very
was
nice.
something else that I always wanted. When I was young, I always wanted to go to New York, and I'm sitting in London. I'm going, well, I should appreciate London, but I wanted to be in New York.
It's funny, I lived there 42 years and I always want to leave New York.
To go to London?
I went to London. I went to London.
And I went to London. We went to London too.
I went to London.
And
And you have this thing called the London Zoo,
Yes,
which is
we
a
do.
park. There's no zoo there.
No, it's a zoo.
No.
Of course it's a zoo.
Now,
you
when
didn't
I went,
see animals?
Yeah, people. The pubs on Sundays, you can't even walk by them. People were pouring out, and they had what they call the quad, 4 pubs. And in the middle, they had the guys with the little sticks, because they get very out of hand. And you fly over from the pond, and I played a game of chess against some champion they had, and I beat him. That was not a good idea. And everybody wanted to play. I got lucky. The guy made a bad move. And the pints of beer are this big.
You like beer?
It's
I
warm,
like that
right?
beer.
If
It
I
was very
remember, I've
warm.
been here a long time. Warm beer,
And
yeah.
they call them bitters, I think, or something.
A bitter, yes.
Not my cup of tea. I told you, you got.
Not your cup of tea, but you had tea in England.
I had tea. I hired a girl from the hotel, the Four Seasons. She stayed with me the 3 days I was there, and she brought a barrel of tea. So I said to her, "What the hell you want me to do with that?" She says, "You got to drink it. It's tea time, with the crumpets and all that other crapola. I don't eat that either."
High tea. They call it high tea.
High tea, and she gave me the gloves.
Yes, yes. The sandwiches.
You'd rather
with the
like take
crust
the
cut
chicken
off.
and break it apart with your hands and eat like
No,
a
that
king.
was Henry V, wasn't it?
He was there too. No, I told her, "Didn't you got a McDonald's or something we can sort of break this monotony up?" And I was in a room, and everybody had this vat of tea, black tea, I think they call it.
Not for you.
It was fun.
Yeah, when we went on a honeymoon, we went to Bermuda. And then 4 o'clock at the hotel, everything
High tea?
stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Out came a cart. Everybody's sitting around. We're all drinking tea.
How amazing.
We should do that here.
High tea?
Yeah.
We can absolutely do it. Cece, you got any stuff going on this weekend? Anything we should know
Are you
about?
playing anyway?
No, we're not playing right now, but for Cafe Night Train on Thursday, we got Vertigo, the U2 tribute band coming in. So
Vertigo? Is that the name of the band?
It's
called Vertigo,
and
yeah.
we met them through Lynn and Louise, so I think you guys are going to stay this Thursday or at least come back for the 7:30 show.
So I finally get to be an MC and let somebody else sing and have fun and enjoy it.
Paul Martini and his group.
There's
Vertigo.
actually a lot of people that are asking. I'm starting to give out dates and stuff like that. So this is going to be a whole lot of fun. I know these guys. When at the 4th of July, I got to cover them. And then he came back as a children's author or something, right?
Yep,
Kids
that's
book
how
author.
Lynn met him, and then he does a U2 tribute band. So it's
They were-
amazing, his adventures with Marla.
They were unbelievable.
Lynn, I think his life is just amazing to me because here he writes children's books, but yet he does In Excess and U2. Like these, plus what he does for HBO. So this man's gifts are truly entertainment and communication. Should do a past life regression on him. Because I think all the things, because he pulls from here and he pulls from here, and you can see rock star, musician, voiceover, I can see all that, but then the children's author is a whole nother side of him, which is really interesting.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, new stuff starting next week as well. But the second week into this thing,
Lots of new
we're
shows
going to
and
roll
new
it
things
all
coming
out.
up.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great weekend, everyone. To our crew, again, thank you so much for all that you do. Great job you guys did this morning on the show. Andrew, amazing camera work. We got new crew on the board. We got editor. We got Mayor, Josh, Katie. You guys are truly spectacular. Baxton, thank you for the smile piece.
Smiley man.
Put every smile in everybody's face. Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay safe. Be kind. We will post all the donation drop-off sites that Angel is putting together. So if you have anything that you can donate, gift, you can probably even Amazon it over to some of the locations on the West Coast. They were more than happy to do that. And we will see you Monday, 9 a.m. drive time.
Don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.